فما زلت ذا عفو عن الذنوب لم تزل تجود وتعفو منة وتكرما.
Being left a lot of the case for the some of the done out activity.
I'm serious.
Yeah. If she's only on mismatch, then she's for the cool. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Welcome back to Jollof after Jummah. Alhamdulillah, I'm back in the country. Passport, everything's patterned.
Yeah.
Came through. Queen Lizzie came through for me too. We got Ibs, obviously, as always in the building. What are you saying, bro?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good, man. I feel like we haven't recorded in a while, but it hasn't even been that long, has it?
It's only been 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
We recorded. No. We recorded
3?
3 weeks, which is the longest gap for a while.
Yeah.
Since Ramadan.
Alhamdulillah, I'm good, man.
And obviously we got a special guest.
Nah, not special.
We got. I don't even know what to call it. We got the drippiest man in South. What's it? A podcast legend.
Nah, he's not even.
We got Nadir in the building. What are you saying, man?
Yes, salamu alaikum.
Quick intro for the people who don't know you.
So my name is Nadir. Originally Moroccan, live in central London, and as Abdul Malik said, obviously I was part of a series and a podcast, Freshly Grounded, and obviously on the side I was teaching in secondary schools.
Never would have guessed, you know.
Yeah, I know, man. You know, whenever I say it, secondary. Whenever I say it, people never believe me. Either because it's the age or just the way I speak or the way I move. I don't know. Or maybe a combination of both.
I just thought you was a model or something.
Honestly.
I thought you just like some Fendi sponsor, like from. That's it, man. And bro, I don't even. So we normally say how we know each other and that, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've kind of. I wouldn't even say know you, but we've known each other for a while. Obviously, you've been around them and them. Obviously, we know you through Abdurrahman. When did you probably like first get in contact with like the man Moss brothers?
Probably was when I was in sixth form. So
6th form times, yeah.
We had like a star or something at his house.
At Ramsey's yard.
So that's what, 6 years ago?
Yeah.
5, 6 years ago. And then in and out, like he'll just do kind of like he'll do gatherings.
Yeah.
And then I done the camp one year. I don't know if were you there?
December, innit? In the masjid.
Yeah, one of the camps. You was there, innit?
Yeah.
Was you there?
Yeah, you and Nabil.
Yes.
Nabil?
Was you there the whole time?
Yeah. Fam, I'm posted there. I'm never.
Okay.
Was Rams there? Probably not.
No, he was there.
He was there.
Yeah, so one of the years we did that, and then last time I saw you that show
at the show. Yeah. Alhamdulillah, that's sick, man. Where do I start? Even actually going back to that. So like, let's say you've integrated, or I say you kind of integrated, semi-integrated with the man Moss man them. How do you find like the Nigerian, like, you know, that mosque, like, and all the things we do and that, yeah?
Yeah.
So obviously that's probably the reason why you kept coming back, because obviously there must have been some sort of pull. Firstly, where you been? Because we ain't seen you for a while, yeah. And secondly, like, how would you explain that to people?
All right, so obviously thinking back now,
yeah, cool.
to seeing that for the first time, it was during the 26th of December, right?
Yeah.
So usually, like, there's not all the shops are closed. There's no school. Obviously, most kids celebrating Christmas, and then you got the Muslim kids that you know they got really ain't got anything productive to do at home, innit? So I thought it was a good initiative, and I come in. Obviously, first the kids weren't in, or they were they were like downstairs, and obviously got the mosque upstairs. So obviously we're just chilling, speaking to the uncle as well. I think he was talking about marriage or something. Thinking back to it. I would go downstairs, seeing bare kids, bro.
Probably just scrapping and doing mad. Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I think maybe like they were eating because we went down to go eat. So I think a class just finished. I think Abdurrahman. I've seen Abdurrahman like give a talk.
Yeah.
Like, that in itself was surreal because was 16, 17 years old. You know, I ain't really seen any of my friends do that. So to come into a mosque and see that, you know, he's giving the talk to the younger kids, that was inspiring. But he always used to give the khutbah anyway in school, so something I was used to.
Right.
But then again, like, because I was one of the adults, there's obviously responsibility. Also, I was there to help out, and I wasn't there just to
chill.
You know, just to chill. But there was responsibility, and I felt like obviously, you know, you had to leave a good, positive mark on like the kids, you understand?
Yeah.
But I didn't really, because I didn't feel like I was knowledgeable or anything like that to be given like advice to kids the same way Abdurrahman was. I was just more time just getting to know them, understand, like trying to get them to get involved with the activities. That's another thing I saw, some activities as well. So it wasn't just like you know, they were going just to like read Quran and just pray and sleep. Like there was activities, and I remember there was like fun activities as well.
Nah, I remember that year was a sick year.
And you know what? Recently, I thought back to that camp when I went to Gambia. Obviously, Spot Project. You're aware of the Spot Project, what they do. So they obviously, it's an orphanage out there, and it reminded me because, like, in a way, it's like they're in camp, but all the time.
All the time, yeah, literally. Yeah.
Like they wake up, they make their own way to the masjid. They wake up themselves as well, Fajr. They clean their own clothes. They cook their own food. They're very self-sufficient, innit? And I don't know, just thought back to like obviously camp, like waking up, like seeing like, because these are young kids, like
I've seen
small
that,
kids, and they're packing out the front rows and that, before like the adults wake up. So yeah, I thought back to the camp just recently when I was out there.
No, sick, man. Allah ruled all those involved in that project, man. It's definitely a sick initiative.
Yeah.
And just obviously the link, you did a podcast. We do a podcast. There's an expose, but bro, why'd you stop? Like, why'd
I
you
stop?
Yeah, man.
So I stopped before. So there was obviously the podcast. It's basically it's like there's a main podcast, Freshly Grounded, that you know you see a lot of guests come in, influencers, obviously teachers, people from all walks of life. That's the main podcast. That's like an interview style podcast, but it's very relaxed. Then we had our own
offshoot.
We had our own series called Current Events. We spoke about basically we started the podcast speaking about current events, like what's happening in the world. It was lockdown, like a lot was happening. That's how it started. Then it slowly became a lot more casual, and obviously like we had like a live stream, so people were involved, like commenters, speaking to the commenters and the viewers, and it became very fun, innit? Like we're doing like the spin wheel thing. People were sending in like donations. But bro, like I said, there was a big commitment. Along with what I was doing on the side as well, I was like obviously working Monday to Friday, and on Sunday I don't know if you know, but I run a football team. So I was doing that.
FC,
yeah, Maghreb FC.
We'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah, inshallah. And then what's it called? That Friday was basically just like there was nothing I could do apart from go from work to the podcast. 2 hours travel, 2 hours setting up, 2 hours setting down, and like obviously making it. It was a late stream, and I'll get home at like midnight. But I committed to it for about a year, and then obviously I messaged Faisal. I said, look, like, I got a lot going on, and it was very difficult for me to do that, innit? Because I liked it. Like, you know, when you obviously you'll relate when you're on a podcast, you open up, you speak like a little bit of therapy.
100.
It's enjoyable. It's a nice grind. It's a nice graft, but like you have to prioritize the things that are most important, innit? So I jumped off that, and then Faisal, because he decided to relocate to Dubai, so that changed things as well, innit? That's why like a lot of the other shows, so Current Events stopped, and then
Yusuf show.
Sliced.
Yeah, Sliced. That's it.
That stopped as well, innit? So he's just focusing on the main podcast and trying to bring in, you know, new, more exciting guests out there as well, innit?
So like, obviously we do it. Like, okay, firstly, did you get any did you find it a struggle, doing like and it's obviously it's an Islamic based channel, Islamic based podcast. But obviously a lot of the time you're talking about non-Islamic things, or you're doing what people would, you know, not associate with Islam, but you get what I mean. As soon as you put Islam on something, or you frame something in an Islamic way, it puts a pressure on it. Did you ever feel that, or did you ever get any kind of pressure or stress from that about that, or was it all cushy?
It was. I'll tell you why it was all cushy, because what it was, at the end of the day, it wasn't like a da'wah podcast. Like our show wasn't for like necessarily da'wah. More time it was just 2 Muslims or 3 Muslims at times, just talk about the news, innit, and what's happening. But at the same time, we have to protect ourselves. And Faisal like made that very, very clear, innit. Before we started, he told us pray istikhara. He told us the responsibilities. He told us like what we can say and what we can't say, in terms of like, you know, we can't just be going out and exposing ourselves. Firstly, and backbiting others. That's 2 things he was. You can't expose yourself. Don't expose your sins. and don't backbite others. So don't say a thing that's gonna like hurt, like upset someone else.
Yeah.
And I remember like sometimes we make comments, but very very small comments, innit? Like, oh yeah, this person's overweight, and then Faisal will go back and then like obviously edit it. I mean, it won't be shown in it, for example, innit? So we were protected in both ways, innit? We was obviously briefed like what we can, what we can't say, which is for our own sake, and also like obviously for the sake of the podcast. You got people that sometimes are young looking up to you, and they see. He even briefed us about like people DMing us about it's like Islamic advice, which happened, innit? People to DM us. He obviously briefed us on other things, like people are gonna DM you, people are gonna like come up to you in person, like say like I recognize you. Obviously, there's certain mannerism that you go about, innit? That's appropriate.
It's a tough one because sometimes you end up just doing something because you want to do it, and then inadvertently becoming a role model. It's the responsibility you didn't ask for. You have to just go hold it, innit?
Anything in public, yeah. Or what do you think of that? Do you think like, obviously you was kind of operating, I guess you could say, under Faisal's framework. So he was kind of like it's his platform in it. So what you're doing, as much as you're representing Islam and yourself, but you're representing his brand in it.
Yeah, that's exactly it, bro. That's another responsibility as well.
I guess it's a different. I don't know how to ask it as a question. I guess it's a difficult one to think about because
do you think it's unfair for me to have been put on a platform and now I have to uphold those certain standards in my personal life?
Yeah,
like outside of that platform now.
Yeah,
like how I operate in obviously my life. People coming up to me. Do I think it's fair?
Yeah,
I feel like what it is, bro. It's not that at the same time it was a choice, innit? It was a choice that I made to go on that platform, and at the same time I was already kind of in some sort of like other platforms, like for example the charity platform, then obviously the society stuff at uni. Like I was always on a platform where I had to know that I had to obviously had responsibilities, I have to move correct. But then I felt like it was good for myself as well.
Yeah, I think
do that.
I think you can look at it in two different ways. I guess you can kind of look at it in that like is it fair that I have to kind of uphold these standards, but then it's also a responsibility for you to kind of rise to. And like you said,
what makes it fair? What makes it fair is that those standards were standards that obviously, as a Muslim, you should live up to anyway. Exactly, bro. That's what made it fair.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to like Shura at the masjid, innit? Like you might not feel like you're like, especially the way we kind of got flung into it,
forced into it,
kind of into running the youth group. Someone else has seen something in you that they think is, I guess, appropriate for you to kind of lead, and you might not think you're ready for it. That's exactly put in that position. You have to rise to it, and essentially in that we were kind of just forced to kind of like rise to that. And I think it kind of helps as well because you're gonna have other younger kids looking at you because you're now in a position of leadership. You now need to know. You now know that you need to kind of attain that certain level of knowledge so that you can, if people have questions, you can answer them more. So yeah, it's just a responsibility you have to rise to, I guess.
That's 100%. That's exactly what it is. Like someone sees something in you that you don't see in yourself, and they believe in you. That's what it was. Like I was like, why did you pick me? Like there's so many people. Like I'm not an out there person. I don't do influencer type of stuff. Like I don't post videos. Like I post pictures, but I don't post videos. I don't ever like record myself and put it up. You know what I'm saying? Not even like drip, bro. What it is like most of the time.
Triggered him still.
No, it's good that you think that, man. What's it called? Bro, most of the time, like, even when I was at uni, bro, I don't know if you know, but I had a society that I was president of.
Yeah, where'd you go?
I went Queen Mary.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So I started a society, and I was president of it, and straight away I had to obviously race. I had to like basically go like see how you said. What's it called? Be rise to the opportunity.
Yeah.
More time, it was the opportunity that I had for myself, innit? Like I knew, really and truly, I could have went about it anyway. I could have went about it in the right way. Could have went about it in the wrong way, innit? But I knew I wanted to go about it the right way. If there's gonna be barakah in it. If I wanted to go about it the wrong way, then I could just do whatever, innit?
What society was it?
It was a cultural society, so it's a North African society. So it's not an Islamic society. So I could have went with it any way I wanted to.
Okay,
You understand?
You can go anywhere with that.
Yeah. And I had to set those standards for myself, innit? And what I did, I obviously wanted it to be Islamic, but at the same time, it's not an ISOC because there's already an ISOC in it. But I wanted to do things like charity and things like that, which was, you know, halal. But, you know, some people don't feel like they was religious enough to go get involved in with the ISOCs. That's just some people that were like that, innit? They were like, you asked them, why don't you come to this talk? They said, I don't know, I'm not really part of the ISOC. Yeah. But it's just a talk.
They think
some people don't feel comfortable, innit?
Yeah. They're like, which is mad. Not mad. I get it.
Yeah. So I wanted to create like a space, innit, where people can do that and come to like things like mental health workshops, even like stuff, just career stuff.
Yeah, just use culture to engage.
Yeah. But then obviously after a year of that, I was like, I'll never do that again.
How come?
There's too much stress, too much drama in it. Because obviously when you're working in like big groups and stuff, I've never done before. And you're the president, and you have to be responsible for everyone. It's difficult, man. That's why I was like, you know, I'll never do something like that again.
Yeah, I heard that.
But alhamdulillah, innit, there was a lot of benefit from it. Like I went to Egypt from it because we done a deployment for Little Hearts. Do you know Muntada Aid?
Nah.
You know Muntada Masjid in Fulham?
Yeah.
So there was like a charity called Muntada Aid. They do like heart surgeries for children.
Sick.
So that's the first big project I've done.
Sick.
And they flew us out to Egypt to actually see like the heart surgeries and everything.
Right, that's nice.
Yeah, loads of good opportunities. I've done like a marathon in Morocco. Like, it was good stuff, but yeah, I'll never go back to doing like the committee stuff. Just earlier we was talking like these committee stuff, like
it's mad.
It's too political, man.
Do you know what it is? I think, remember when we were talking about like being Muslim in the workplace, and how like even if as a Muslim at work you can't even gather the Muslims together because it will just cause a madness. Yeah. I feel like whenever you get, I don't know if it's a Muslim thing or ethnic thing or whatever, but as soon as you get people together and you try and impose a standard, that standard people just get offended by it. And
yeah, bro. I don't know what it is, man, but that's it. You can see that a lot.
Yeah,
you see that a lot, man. Especially when you're working with people from so many diverse backgrounds.
I feel like you want to say stuff, yeah.
Nah,
and you're holding
I'm saying it actually. And what I'm saying is, bro, like when you're working with people that are from different places.
Yeah, I heard that.
When you go to uni, you're working with people that, you know, probably grew up. Some grew up in different countries, came as international students. Some like obviously grew up in different parts of London. Some groups grew up outside of London. There's different cultures, isn't it? And people have different characteristics and yeah, bro, like standards.
And different levels of entitlement.
But that's London, innit?
Yeah. That's
London. Yeah, 100% as well. And you're working with females as well. That's like my society was like 3 guys, and I was one of them. And then there was like
that type of society.
There was 10 sisters as well.
It's gonna attract bare sisters.
You understand? But they were the ones that were willing to get involved. Like there was man, they were lazy, bro. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's a common one, you know. In uni,
do the work,
it's like do you know? It's the common one is that you have a brother or a brother, just a guy or brother. That's probably more likely the in charge. He'll have an aim. He'll be like the standard bearer. Then you'll have like man them that are there that also agree with the standards or whatever, but they ain't trying to do no work. And then you'll have bare sisters or bare women or whatever who are gonna do the legwork, but then maybe some of them in some of the standards they're not trying to hear it. Especially
have you worked in society?
I was president of society. I was president of two in uni, innit? And this is the man said never again, and then I did it again, and then I was like, definitely, because I was in uni for too long. I had 4 years there, innit? So it was,
So there you go. I don't have to speak too much. But you can relate. You know what I mean?
Then they're not trying to hear it from them man them, but them man them will only pipe up. I just came into the thing and then this is going on. Okay, basic example. There's an event and there's free mixing. These man that were in the group chat, while these decisions were getting made,
they said nothing.
They said nothing. They'll come to and they'll pipe up their mouth, and then the guy in charge is like, "You man are killing me, fam." Because what can I tell these people, who are doing all the work?
You've done nothing.
Yeah, I don't know whose fault it is. It's probably the sisters.
Well, it is because it's all voluntary as well. It's difficult, man. Because you can't tell someone off, but again, you have to do it in a way, like a diplomatic type of way. But what society are you part of?
Nah, I was president of pharmacy, and then I was kind of in uni. I wasn't for the brothers. Basic. Okay, there was when you have the head brother, then you have like the head brother. So you got the figurehead brother, and then you got the legwork. There was that, and then pharmacology society as well. Yeah.
Tricky societies, man.
Yeah.
None of that.
Nothing.
No.
Nah, it's good, you know. It builds character, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
It builds character.
Definitely.
And then obviously we've got Shura. The way Shura works, like with Man Youth, is basically a uni society. It's the same dynamic. It's literally the same thing.
And that's connected to a particular mission?
Yeah,
Old Kent?
Old Kent, yeah.
Okay, cool.
The only difference is that you ain't got an SU. So that you got a bit more, you can be a bit more dictatorial if you want.
Yeah.
But then the same thing is that you always, if you pee off the people that are doing the work, you're finished. So you've got to balance it. So when the people...
Careful.
Yeah, let me stop talking actually. Anyway, you know, when the people that do all the work are upset, then you're finished. So you can't upset them.
Yeah.
So often you have to do things to not upset. Yeah. If I speak,
You just stop.
Okay,
Alright, cool.
You mentioned a bit about charity before.
Yeah, man. Alhamdulillah. It's obviously the society stuff was like the first step into
That's
like
where
the
it all
charity
kinda started
sector.
from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I built a community, but it was like, okay, cool. Like, how can I unite this community? Like I said, people from different places, people with different cultures, different standards. But everyone obviously, you know, is down to do charity, and everyone like agrees that charity is a good thing. So I felt like obviously doing charity, bringing some charities involved, and doing some volunteering work, and also some like fun challenges to raise money for charity. I thought that was a good thing. So obviously I contacted some charities, spoke to Muntada Aid, got Little Hearts up and running. We raised I think like 65,000. I mean that was enough for a whole deployment. So we went out they flew out, me and Zach. We went out, saw the literally the operation right in front of us. We're in the operating theatre. You can see like literally open heart surgery. Met all the children, met all the families. I mean that's when it's like, you know what, you realise that like, because when you donate it's different to actually seeing it.
Yeah.
That's when you realise that like I wanna like dedicate my life to just doing this sort of work. And you come with mad energy, but when you come back to London, you're a bit tired. You say, "Let me take a break." And then, you know, when the next project comes up, and then just got involved. You know, when you start getting involved with charities, because people from those charities they move around. Yeah. So like someone from Muntada Aid moved to like Human Appeal and Muslim Aid. Like they move around, innit? And then they still shout you that, "Oh, you wanna get involved? You wanna get involved?"
I feel like you've always got a fundraiser up and
always
running.
got something.
Yeah. But you know what it is, Aki, bro? Like, I'm very lazy with it, man. How I used to be.
You're lazy.
Yeah, I'm mad lazy.
So what are we, fam?
Trust me.
Nah, trust me, bro. Trust me, I'm lazy, bro. Like having a link in your bio is nothing. Like you can both do that right now. That's easy. But pushing it out there and reminding people and being annoying to like your friends and doing events, and that's like you said, that's the people who are doing the hard work, innit? But I did do that hard work, and I see like it was effective. Like but it's stress as well, man. Like organising events to raise money. There's costs. There's a lot of like pressure. Yeah, do you get me? I'd rather just put out a post. I've become more that now, innit? I put out a post, WhatsApp broadcast. I'll do that, and that's it.
How do you decide what charity to get involved in?
Do
you have like a
do you
have like a
I'll go. I'll speak to the charity. I'll have contact with someone that works there. That's most likely why I'll get involved. And then they contact me. They're like, this is a list of things that we need fundraising for. For example, the Bangladesh floods recently. Yeah. One of the guys from Human Appeal just messaged me like, look, like, you know, it's urgent right now. Like, you down to create something? I was like, yeah, cool. Make a link, just put it out. Like, it's that simple, really, innit? Knowing what charity to work with, I think going on a deployment really helps. Because then you can. There's another thing called the Charity Commission. Yeah. There's like a website you can check like. Basically these charity commissions, they go and they do like audits on these charities and they check like everything's on point.
Check the books.
So if you want you can go through that and do your research. But I don't, innit? I like to just raise money for a charity, go on a deployment, and then see for myself how do they work on the ground. And then if I like what I see and I see like they're organised and they move correct and like the safeguarding's there and everything's there, then yeah, I'll carry on working with them. That's usually how it works.
That's it, man.
Same as spot project like. Obviously, you see it online, innit, the work they do. One of my friends, I don't know if you know him, Rafiq. He's Nigerian as well, but he's from Essex. So he was going out there. I met him in Umrah as well. So like a month before, he was going out there. He was telling me about it, and I was like, bro, if a space opens up, let me know. One brother who raised money wasn't able to go, so basically I took his space.
Okay, because they do that. If you raise a certain amount of money, then
you got to raise £2,000.
Yeah.
And then they allow you to come over. So you just book your tickets. And then the accommodation, food is for free, innit? Like they sort you out with accommodation and food. Bro, like I went, I was probably the first person to go without fundraising because I went because someone else fundraised, and then I took his spot basically.
Yeah.
Then I went out there and I started fundraising. I was like, I have to fundraise.
You have to, of course,
Like, even though I'm here, like I'm still gonna fundraise. So I put out the page, but within a couple of days, I hit 2K already. Yeah, because I was there. When you're there, it's different.
It's different,
because I'm snapping, I'm posting online. People are just willing to donate. But bro, I would definitely, if people are like interested in getting to doing abroad, like volunteering, therefore spot very easy, very simple, like to work with. Raise 2K, which is, as a beginner, is easy. It's not too. It sounds mad. It sounds big. I remember like my first £200 that I raised was like, whoa, like, because your contact list kind of it grows, innit? Like people, like I'll share a link to you two, but then you share it to another 2 people. It just grows exponentially, innit? But people have to trust you, and people have to like obviously say, this guy's someone I can trust. I'm gonna put out his link.
I think you could probably, I think probably gives you that credibility as well. It's the fact that obviously you're seen to be going to these places. So if somebody's gonna pick up themselves and go somewhere, then it must be worth it. And obviously there's a track record of you. I feel like if you raise 2K, it's probably easier to raise your next 2K because you're like people know that their money is not going down the toilet. When they give it to you, it's gonna hit the target, and when the people see the target, it's gonna do something.
Bro, when I get a link, the first thing I do is click it and check if it's like all legit. That's the first thing I do. So like it makes sense. But that's another reason why I post my stuff like online. Like obviously, it's difficult when you posting like imagine like posting like my ibadah and things like that. It don't make sense.
Intention and that.
It messes with your intentions big time, bro. Especially when you're getting a lot of compliments. This is difficult. But then when I was out in Jordan, I went Jordan. That was, I think, my first Middle East deployment. I went with Human Relief Foundation. I had deleted my Instagram. Like I was like, I don't need socials. It's a waste of time, innit? But I still had that decent platform because it was after the society stuff, and because people kind of already like knew me for like doing charity stuff and events. I had some following that were just obviously following because of the charity work. I deleted it. Well, then I went out there and I saw like obviously doing the food pack distributions and meeting like the Syrian refugees, the Palestinian refugees. I saw like like I can raise money and help these people, but because I'm worried about what people think and like haters and this is that, I'm stopping myself from doing that. But I got a big platform that I can use to actually help like thousands of these people. Like if I really wanted to, and I really pushed, like I can raise like 40k. But because I'm worried about haters and just the stresses that come with social media, what's it called? I stopped myself from doing that. So when I was out there, bro, it was 100%. When I was out there, I re-downloaded my Instagram, and I said like from this day, my Instagram is gonna be obviously, it's gonna be dedicated to just raising money and helping people. That's what I've tried to like obviously uphold, innit? Sometimes you get lazy, like we said, innit?
Of course.
I try to keep it to that, like I try to keep it for that. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be on Insta. To be honest,
that's man, I rolled you, man. That's it. And I can echo that. Like literally, when you go out there, it's like infectious. It's like addiction. It's like addictive.
Yeah, bro.
When you go out there,
bro, I've seen people go out there and then leave their jobs and then like join charity sector with like half the pay. Wallahi, bro. A lot of like sisters do that still. They go out there, like they're heartbroken. They see what's happening because bro, it feels like a movie, bro. When you're out there and you're speaking to them and you're like interviewing, especially like refugees like they were living better lives than me and you, like back home. And then all of a sudden,
there's brothers that come to this masjid that like one brother I know that comes to the masjid, man had like like a tech shop, like selling phones and all that type of stuff.
Where?
A couple stores. Let me not say where, but in North Africa. I won't say where, because I said he comes here. And now like man's just been sent to this country, life turned upside down. It's mad. And do you know what I think is important as well? People that are, so in case of places like Syria, that type of thing, it's not Steve and Betty that are going there. It's people that are like brothers and people that have the same moral code as them, people that understand them, that are going, because there's something different about the connection and the understanding from a Muslim brother and to a Muslim brother, Muslim sister to another Muslim sister, than, for want of a better term, next man doing it. It's important, like. But I think it's something that maybe we get on the whole, especially in our community, maybe a bit lazy on, thinking that I just give the money and that's enough.
I guess
sometimes giving yourself is important. Obviously, if you can, but giving yourself is important, and seeing that appreciation. Yeah. And that's probably what makes it so like seeing the fruits of the work. Nah, definitely. When we went Ghana, same thing. We got that, and that was 10 days, and I asked anyone what my favorite holiday was. Ghana, fam.
See, that's
I was living in a shack, basically. Like,
what it is, like, bro, is that's the most, like, it's the most memorable for you, because it was the most meaningful.
Meaningful, exactly.
You understand? Like, you can go to that. Like, see me, same thing. When someone asks me, like, what's the best country you've gone to, I don't think of like the most beautiful country. I think about the most meaningful one. You understand? So it could be like Umrah, like Saudi, or it could be like one of the deployments, Gambia. You understand? Rather than like somewhere like scenic, like Iceland. You understand? Because it's meaningful.
You take some pictures.
But like sometimes, bro, sometimes I forget the countries that I've gone to because I've done nothing productive there. I forget how I went there.
Yeah, I heard that. So, do you have any?
I was just gonna say, what would you say is probably like the most, I don't know the word, you know, the most interesting deployment you've been on?
Interesting, okay.
Or
probably. What do you mean by interesting though?
That's the thing.
Have you got to tell like what story? If you think, I say deployment, have you got like a story or person or case that just pops up to mind as something that's just, you know.
That's the better way.
What, deep, like deep ones?
Yeah, go on.
Deep ones.
Yeah.
Most interesting. Okay, so my first one to Jordan. That was probably like my first like real deployment. The one I did with Egypt before, that was my first one, but it was just me and my friends that we just went with the deployment team. It's not like they never do deployments. But the second one I did, it's actual deployments. So it's organised. There's like these every evening, like we sit together. Like there's like these what they call, man, reflective sessions. They got reflect. It's proper organised, isn't it? And we get to interview like the families properly.
Okay.
And that was there. Like it felt like a movie, because the certain things that they say, which is crazy, you'd never believe in it, actually happens out there, innit? So like, for example, a lot of the women, basically you don't really meet men unless they're like disabled, or they got cancer, or they're old, or their feet are cut off. You won't ever see a healthy man, refugee. All women. Most of the women, they got cancer because the nuclear weapons. So most of them, they have like breast cancer or something like that. A lot of the kids are disabled. And most of the women were raped. And whenever we asked, like, we didn't ask those questions. We just asked, like, what did they like? What happened in those days and this and that. And they would say it. A lot of kids were raped, like young kids. And not only that, like, there was one woman. I remember she said that they killed her husband in front of her kids, and they put a knife towards her baby, and then she was like, like, obviously he was a baby then, but like that's him now. It was like a 6-year-old, 7-year-old kid, like sitting right next to us. Like they put a knife towards that baby. I mean, like, obviously it's just mad emotional, because you're trying to think like, right, like, how can she go through all of that and then say it without breaking down? Yeah. Because if you looked around, bro, like there was grown men crying. You understand? And even the kids, they understand Arabic, like they're 9-10 years old, but they understand what she's saying as well. And yeah, it's deep.
And that's the most deep ones. These are places what? So there's Egypt.
This was Jordan.
This Jordan.
Egypt was different, because see now in Egypt, bro, these kids, we went to a very poor city in Egypt called Qena. It's like it's a bit south of Luxor. Okay. And it's very poor, like village style area. And all these kids were born in poverty. You understand? So like, if you saw them, they were happy. Like obviously they were sick because they had a heart condition, so that they were pale and whatnot. But they were okay. They were like content.
That's what they
understand.
know.
Like they just wanted the heart surgery and that's it. They were born into poverty. Whereas these families that we were interviewing, they, like I said, like a lot of them, like they had land, they had like happy lives, and then to go through all of that, and now they're refugees. And like what's even worse here is when you hear their situation now. When you hear their current situation, they're living off like basically they get they're not allowed to work. They don't have a permit to work, but they get tokens, food tokens, about let's say 150 tokens. And what these families do is they sell those tokens so that they can buy medicine for their kids. And a lot, like I said, a lot of these women are sick, and it's very difficult for them to work. So if they had a kid, if they had like a son that was about 13, 14, he'd drop out of school to work full time. Yeah.
And these are so it's a refugee camp in Jordan.
There's refugee camp. There's refugee camps.
Refugees
I mean, there's
from what? Syria? Where are they from?
Syria and Palestine. Mostly Syria. Though.
Mostly Syria.
Yeah, majority Syria.
See, what? Obviously, we don't want to get too political on that, yeah. But you know when people like, it just makes you think. You know all of this like rebellion and civil wars and that in these countries, yeah. It just makes you think like, literally nothing good comes from these things, right? It's actually obviously I know when we had like BLM and we were talking about protest and we were talking about protesting, and that was a big thing in that was a big debate about how can you tell us we can't protest or we can't do revolution or whatever when this and this and this is happening. It's like, bro, look at these stories, bro. Like,
we talk obviously Islamically, innit?
Yeah, Islamically. Yeah. Look at these stories, bro. Like, look at these countries, these Arab countries, like Libya.
The benefit never
this fam.
Always.
Anyway, may Allah protect us, man. Keeping it a bit lighter when it comes to traveling, yeah.
Yeah.
So, obviously, the traveling outside of the humanitarian work, yeah. What inspires you to? Cause I feel like you've been to a few places.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've just come
bro,
back from.
Do you know what it is actually,
yeah,
bro? It's another thing that you mentioned. It gets addictive. Yeah. And I got a goal of visiting 30 countries before I'm 30.
Before 30.
Yeah.
Are you close?
No, I don't know. Like maybe like I need like 9 more countries.
That's good.
Yeah, 9 more countries. That's quite a lot though. At the same time.
When I shouted, man, was it 2 weeks ago? Man was like, "Yeah, man's in Australia, bro."
Yeah.
I was like, "That was you know the one place I'll never expect a man on my contact list to be is Australia." That was the most random, man.
Yeah,
what was going on?
Getting there was long. See how you're talking about transits?
Yeah.
But imagine like two days of traveling, 30 hours. Like in total on the plane, 30 hours.
Yeah.
Like not including the transit hours.
Did you change clothes?
Yeah, man. Obviously, I want a backpack. No checked in luggage. Everything's in my backpack. Obviously, like when you get to Singapore, it's mad humid, so just put on some t-shirt, shorts. But I showered in Singapore airport. You know, it's the #1 airport in the world. Singapore. Yeah.
What,
yeah, it's mad, bro.
Is it nice, yeah?
Bro, like they got cinemas, they got like fountains,
so
restaurants.
Dubai. No, but Singapore's a pattern country.
Singapore is one in the world. The airport.
Is it
so I was there for a day. There's a swimming pool
in the airport.
Yeah.
Nah, fam. Because when I came home, yeah, like the way I was beefing, that t-shirt, I just chucked it in the bin, fam. Like it's done. Like it's done. You know when you're like, that's not coming up, and I'm not. Yeah, bro. That's 36 hours. Anyway, what was you doing there?
Exactly, bro. I don't know. I was trying to occupy myself. I couldn't sleep. It's like everyone's sleeping. I couldn't sleep in it, so I was just trying to watching like documentaries and that. I had an assignment that I had to do as well. Just got my laptop out, doing the assignment, eating, bro. Because you know what it is actually, bro. Imagine that long on the flight, they expect you to wear a mask. So every time the flight attendant would pass, I was eating. Bro. I had either water or like I had a chewing gum in it. And then if they clock you, you're not eating. Bro, they woke someone up right next to me. He was sleeping to put his mask on.
This mask thing is done, man.
Yeah,
I think it is done.
It's not done.
Next week.
When you're
on traveling.
Traveling. Okay.
Yeah, even the airport, you have to do it. But obviously, just act like you're drinking water.
Water. You have that water in your hand. Posted. My mum fall asleep like this. No, but in Australia, what was you actually?
Bro, I was doing some random stuff. Obviously, I went only for a week, which is mad. So I had to do a lot. Visited like a few masajid, Bro, imagine I translated one of the khutbahs, bro. It was so funny, bro. What? Like, I was on my way there. My friend usually does it, innit? Like, we had breakfast on our way to the masjid. He's like, bro, like, you're going to translate the khutbah, innit? And I was like, cool, innit? I don't mind, whatever. I mean, we got there, obviously, the sheikh's obviously saying what the khutbah is. Obviously, we translated in English. I just translated it.
Did you do the accent?
Huh?
Did you do the accent for them?
No, I can't do the accent, bro. But obviously, everyone's probably thinking, because it's a Somali masjid as well, innit? So they're thinking, like, this guy's not Somali or Australian.
What's the Muslim scene like in Australia?
Yeah.
It's alright still. There's a lot of Lebanese brothers there, Somali, Turkish, Pakistan.
Do you know what I do not usually find? I feel like, especially when you speak to people from other parts of the world, America, Canada, places like Australia, they all, what I've found recently speaking to people from those different kind of parts of the world, is that they usually look to London, and they say that London is a lot more advanced than for Islam, and obviously we're here all the time, and how much we complain about it, and I think it kind of just puts things into perspective. That's how kind of fortunate, even though things could be a lot better, but we're a lot more fortunate than people in other parts of the world.
I think 100%.
Some of the things that I've heard from people in America, like Canada, about the scene, what it's like over there, and then compare it to the UK.
There's bare bidder in the world, you know. Like, you know when you hear people talk, like, you know, like how I hear there's a big thing, yeah, and like you hear people talk a lot about deviance and deviant sex and people that are like, you know, doing bidder and not on the sunnah, and you're like, most people around me are kind of patterned. When you go abroad, yeah, you'll see a whole town, a whole city of people that are doing madness, and it's just like that's the norm.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, Nigeria. Man just came from Nigeria, and it's like, yeah. I think that's why London.
There's like a lot of Sufis in there.
The thing about with Nigerians, yeah, Nigeria's too fluid. Nigerians are too relaxed about everything. So, and it's good in some ways because, like, one thing I was about to say, you'll never get a religious war in Nigeria. Then I remember Boko Haram, but you'll never. But what I mean is that for the most part, Nigeria, apart from that group, everybody, when it comes to religion, is very fluid and very accepting. But when you get too much acceptance, you get no regulation. And when you get no regulation, you get people that are just doing anything, and it spreads to the younger generation. So no one will think that if you say, oh, are you? Someone will be doing everything that's Sufi. You'll say, are you a Sufi? You don't know. I'm Ahlul Sunnah or Jamaat. Well, Jamaat, but these men are some of the practices, and there's just some cultural things that are just like embedded that are just never going away. Like Dobale, for example, like, you know, the Nigerians, they do the bowing thing, yeah. That is like, even in the most patterned place Islamically, yeah. Like I was in the north, yeah. And that's like the predominantly Muslim areas, the Hausa area, and I went to a walima. You would have seen the clips on the Instagram, yeah. And walima, not marriage walima, like, you know, Quran like graduation ceremony where
Ijaza.
Like, not in the Ijaza specifically, but you memorize maybe like 5 juz and they test you.
Alright.
And it's like a graduation, end of year graduation. We call it walima as well.
Why do you call it walima?
Walima is like a party.
Yeah,
like
walima's
a party,
like
a
celebration.
Yeah.
So and within that year, I remember I was so like impressed because I was like, the kids will come up, they'll say like, oh, you know, Ismi, Mariam, this, Min, it's Jamatul Islami, and so like and Arabic, and then they'll translate it after. They'll say that I think they were doing Imam 40 hadith, so 40 kids came up and they memorized. And you're thinking, wow, this is, and the Arabic is patterned. Then they'll do the recitation. Tajweed is patterned. I was like, right, these men are. It's not as bad as I heard. Like, I was like, oh yeah, Nigerians old. Yeah, but no, I was like, no, these men are.
Yeah, but they take education seriously.
And in the north, when it comes to like Tajweed, Quran and Hadith and Arabic sciences, they're on it.
What is it here? Obviously, alhamdulillah, we got opportunity. We got obviously like a lot of masajid, a lot of like teachers that we can learn from. However, we're very lazy compared to people back home.
Yeah, these kids are. There's big bare kids.
Education's
I feel that.
Yeah, education's like a blessing. It's seen as a blessing to like a lot of kids. Whereas here, it's just like, oh, it's long. Don't go to school. But
even still, there's still things that are like, you lot are so patterned, but then you lot will still do the bowing thing, for example. And it's like, you've managed to bypass so much nonsense from the culture, nonsensical elements from the culture, you manage to envelop so much of the like that's khair, that's good and sunnah, but you'll still like if someone doesn't bow, it's basically like if you see an owner senior, you'll bow, but sometimes the bow is even it's moving like ruku sujood, and it's like and you say, why do you do that? Stop doing that, or like I'm not going to do that, and it will be offensive. And it's like, bro, you are in every way, you are a sheikh, like you know your stuff, you are a pattern, but you refuse to let this go. It's like why are you holding on to it so much? Like it's not good. To me it's dumb. Like I actually think it's dumb, because if you can dedicate your whole life to seeking knowledge but you can't let go of this one thing, and it's like, and you know it's wrong, but it's my culture. I don't know, man. It's movement. You know, like Prophet Ibrahim. That's what I always think of when I see it. Like in Nigeria, that dynamic between Prophet Ibrahim and his dad, that conversation, that's literally the theme. That's like the theme of Nigeria. Literally, why do you do this? Because my parents did it, and I'm not going to disobey them. I'm not going to dishonor them by doing it. But you believe in Allah, I believe in Allah, but I'm not going to disobey them. That's literally, that's basically the mindset, and it's like,
bro, I guess they haven't seen the same things you've seen, innit? Or been exposed to the same knowledge you've been exposed to.
But yeah, man, alhamdulillah, and Nigeria, apart from that, like masajid, it's pattern, man. There's some beautiful masajid there. People's, what they do have as well is they have a respect for Islam and a respect for Islam that I feel like maybe you don't get in this with Nigerians in UK, or Nigerians that I'm exposed to. I don't think it's as great there. If you like, I don't know, they hear someone reciting the Quran, for example, or something like that, the way they'll hold that person up, no matter what he's from, no matter where like he's from, the way they'll when it comes to leading, for example, leading salah in the masjid, the first when I walked into, this happened a couple of times, they're about to start praying, and I'm new then, innit? And they'll ask me, like Quran, like, are you Ahlul Quran? Are you person of Quran? Do you know Quran? And it's basically saying the Imam is basically like, this person, I don't know him. If he knows Quran, he should lead. That's do you know what I mean? That respect for Quran, for example, in the masjid, that it's proper, it's patterned there. I respected it, man.
Shows there's no arrogance.
Yeah, there's no arrogance when it comes to the deen there. That's their thing. Like for the Muslims that are there, they respect Islam highly, except for that Dubai. That's why that bowing thing really annoyed me, because it was like, but yeah, man. I best there's I don't know, it'll come through in other ways, but
I think any like you said, any country, any Muslim country you go meet, there's a few things that are obviously like just embedded in their culture, and it's not part of the Sunnah. But they don't know it. Innit?
They don't know it. Yeah, I think, and that's why London.
Do they not know though? Because from what you're saying, it sounds like some of them do know and just refuse to let go of it.
I think they do know. Is maybe I think a lot of the time is maybe I was being unfair that they don't know the implications of it.
You lot had this before.
Once in the game, man pulled out the game, you know.
Huh?
Man pulled out the game.
Have you lot used this before?
No,
Yeah.
I think did we mention we're gonna do it? We mentioned we're gonna do it, innit?
Huh?
We mentioned we're gonna do it on the episode, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. My wife actually.
You wanna
My
draw on
wife
that?
bought a copy.
Is it?
You enjoy
Yeah.
that?
No, I got this for you lot still.
I swear.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
So like, if you have a guess or something, we can use some prompts, questions, and that. Is this decent? All time, it's like, how can you explain it?
Yeah, just I guess questions that just make you think. Really,
But Islamic ones though as well.
Not all of them are Islamic.
Not all of them
Not
are.
all of them are Islamic,
So
but
good
I guess
mix.
that they all make you think. At
Yeah.
least.
But it's very deep, Aki, bro. Like you have to be in a serious like.
Is it time? Should we do one?
Yeah, pull one out, and you know what I mean. But like, it gets deep,
And obviously,
so you can't do it on like a jokey thing.
Yeah.
I swear, is it that? I thought it was more like a mixture.
I think it is a mixture. There's a Ramadan one as well, bro.
Bruh.
But here, what was the first one? You'll see.
Bruh. About to cry. I said, I asked this to Ibs. Bro, what are you preventing yourself from feeling?
Right. What am I preventing myself from feeling?
Look at the camera when you answer, yeah?
Rotted. That is crazy. What am I preventing myself from feeling?
That's pepper in that question, you know?
It draws you out.
I don't even know how to start, bruv. have to jump to the next one, you know. Wow, that is crazy.
You're not preventing any. Basically, you're not preventing yourself from feeling any emotion. That's what it seems like.
I feel like I don't get. I don't know if I'm preventing myself from feeling this, but I don't know. I feel like I don't get like upset very often.
Okay.
Like I can get angry about things, I can get annoyed about things, but I rarely get upset. And like mad things can happen. Like family members can like pass away and stuff, but I won't get mad upset over it. And I don't know why, because I think I'm quite emotionally mature and intelligent, but I just don't get upset about things.
Do you get annoyed?
I get, yeah, like I said, I get
like every man, innit?
I get annoyed about
things. You get some toxic masculinity stuff.
I get annoyed about things. Like things will annoy me, but I rarely get upset. Like I can't think of the last time that I've been like proper upset about something.
Alright, cool. So, because I don't want to put you, because I feel we put you on the spot kind of Monday. Yeah? So I'll ask a question to the room. I'll start with you anyway. So why do men find it easy to get annoyed but not upset?
I don't know. I guess it depends on it depends on what the situation is. I think this maybe the thing that probably I get annoyed about like daily, like driving.
Yeah.
I'm driving. That's probably the thing that will annoy me the most, like daily. But like I don't know, like getting upset about things is just. It's not that I see it like as like a little bit. Maybe I see it as like a waste of time. Because like I feel like whenever I'm in a situation when I guess things aren't maybe going the way I want them to go, my mind immediately defaults to how can I solve this?
What's the solution?
Rather than being in my feelings about it. So like say maybe I've had
what he's saying is exactly what I was thinking about.
Yeah, same.
Like, maybe I've had like a disagreement with my wife.
Yeah.
Like cool. I'm not happy about maybe something that you've done, or you're not happy with something I've done. How do we get to the solution?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's to my own undoing as well, because sometimes that's because with women as well. Sometimes that's just not the frame of mind that they're in at the time. They're just in their feelings and they want to be in their feelings. And you can explain everything to them logically, like you're upset about this thing. What you're doing and the way you're behaving right now is not conducive to the situation at all.
Word.
And you know it isn't, that you're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And regardless of how much logic you apply, it doesn't make a difference. So like sometimes, I don't know, yeah, you just have to kind of just let them be in their feelings. But for me, I'll
send you the edit before we listen to it. Just
for me, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, and again, like I said, I'm not emotionally closed off or anything. Like sure. I feel I'm not definitely. I don't feel like I'm someone that's closed off to my emotions. But just the whole thing about like being sad and upset.
You don't feel there's a need for it. Yeah, 100%.
What are you? Same.
Exact same thing.
Exactly same.
I think like straight away, like what's the solution? If something that goes wrong, I take some time to maybe be upset about it. Really small bit of time. Why? And then I'm thinking of a solution.
And in that time, in that kind of like down period, I'm not upset. Maybe I'm just mulling over the situation. I'm just deep. I'm just thinking, but I'm not upset. I'm just thinking. I'm just deep in the situation. Yeah,
that is being upset though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sometimes when
you're deep in it and like you're thinking like, right, like why did that happen? That's being upset still.
Can I? If I say so I'd say the only person I feel like I often get upset with, or who can make me upset, I feel like is my mum and dad. Does that resonate with anyone? I don't get annoyed with my mum and dad. They're the only people that everyone else I get annoyed at. Yeah. Them two can upset me. They have the power to upset me.
I don't know, you know.
Yeah. That's for me. That's
a difficult one. Yeah, I don't know.
For me, that's it. Because I don't
think
I can be annoyed at my mum.
Yeah, no way.
You can be annoyed at like little things. But I can't be vexed. But it's,
I can't be
instead of
upset
being
either.
vexed, I'll just be. No, is it? No, I can be upset.
Yeah.
Depending, I can be upset because it will be like maybe I'm upset because I can't be annoyed. Maybe I need to not be able to be.
Maybe no. That's
annoyed.
I'd say that's a good thing though. That's probably a good thing that you can be upset but not annoyed because you shouldn't be vexed at your parents.
But everybody else, I'll just be vexed or annoyed. And it's the same reasons that you mentioned. Yeah, man.
Oh, I get what you're trying to say. Still,
I'd say
if you deep it,
I'd say that's a good thing. I'd say that's a good thing. I don't think there's ever a time when I've been angry at my parents. Maybe I don't know. Maybe your parents can say something that might trigger you.
100.
But
100.
I'm not vexed to the point where I don't want to speak to you. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'd say that's probably the closest I could ever be. My parents, maybe just like a little bit triggered. That question is tough. What are you
preventing yourself? There's a lot of you in this question.
Yeah.
What are you preventing yourself from feeling? Nadir, what are you preventing yourself from feeling?
We're using the same question. You gotta change the question.
I like this one though. I like this one. When a man's ducking a question, you know that the answer's gonna be. You know the answer. You don't want that one.
No, I changed the question. That's the rules, isn't it? You have to change the question.
Cool. Oh, you can't ask the same question.
Yeah, that's the new rules. Well, then the next question is even more peak.
No, this one. I think you got off scot-free. I said, what's been tough about today?
Oh, that's easy, man.
Yeah, I feel like. Don't say transport.
All right, cool. Time management, I'd say, for me today. I wanted to get to the masjid a bit earlier.
This one?
No, to the Jummah.
Okay.
So obviously, when you get there early, you obviously have time to read. So I was careful as well. I didn't get to do that. I'm gonna come in here again. Obviously, time management as well, wasn't it? Didn't want to. I was supposed to get here for like 6:30. Got here for like 7.
Don't worry.
Yeah, time management, man. Yeah. That's an easy one.
Well, see, I'm the host in it, so I'll just keep asking questions.
Ask yourself from this question.
Yeah, ask yourself.
Alright, cool. This one plunging, huh? But anyway, it's good anyway. I think it's good though.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
That's a mad thing. Alright, cool. Look at this.
Allow me.
No. This is weird, bro. Look.
Okay.
What do you think the hardest part of my childhood was? That's weird, isn't it?
What? Your childhood?
Yeah.
Right. Do you know, I wish. I was just thinking. I wish Nabil was here for this question.
Nabil.
not your Nabil, another one. Another one.
I always wanted Nabil Algerian.
Nah, different one. Another
It would have been funny to have
another Moroccan one.
Oh, I know Nabil.
Yeah, you know him. I'm sure you know him. Yeah. Because I would have just slandered him.
How do you not know Nabil? From Elephant and Castle.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it
from Ends?
Oh,
from Ends.
Yeah. Just Ends, I think.
Yeah. So what do I think the hardest part of your childhood was?
That's crazy. If that's too difficult, do me.
Yeah, let me do Ibs. Because I know
Makes
I know
sense.
more. So what do I think the hardest part of your childhood was? I think the hardest part of your childhood probably would have been trying to garner that kind of respect as your own man in a house with four boys, 2 of which are very militant brothers. So having that respect or commanding that respect from your mum and dad as your own man. The way man's smiling, I could tell. You know when a man's having flashback. A man was looking like, yeah, garnering that respect as your own man, yeah. From your mum and dad, amongst your brothers, amongst the brothers, and from your 2 younger brothers, who probably would have seen you.
One younger brother.
The 2 older brothers that would have seen you as basically a little man. I would suspect, based on where you lived and your family dynamic, that might have been the hardest thing?
I've never actually thought about that. That's probably what I would. That's probably not what I would have said, but I like that. And
maybe that was a safe answer. Maybe that was an on the camera answer.
I suppose, yeah. That's something I've actually never thought of. Or I have thought of it a little bit actually, and it kind of still in the process. Do you know what I mean? Not that my family don't respect me or anything, but yeah, I just guess as you grow up and you kind of mature, you're always in that process. I mean, I know I've had like conversations with like my older brothers where I've kind of felt like, and I've said to them, like, I feel like I don't always have that respect from you, and I've said that to one of my older brothers before, and I just feel like, yeah, I don't know, it's a weird one. I feel like it's been a bit more difficult with my younger brother actually.
Okay. Oh.
Because there's 4 of us in it. So like my 2 older brothers, they always kind of did stuff together, and then me and my younger brother always did stuff together as well in it. So I think when I was kind of like a teenager, I'd say maybe from like 13 to 16, I don't think I was mature as I should have been. And him having 3 older brothers, he was more mature than he should have been. So there's 5 years between us, but that difference closes that gap. Does that make sense?
I would agree with that, yeah.
So me not being very mature and him being more mature closes that gap to, instead of it being 5 years, you'd think it was like 1 year between the 2 of us, innit?
I can agree with that actually, yeah.
So, so I guess there was a point where, we all used to do stuff together, innit? But then it kind of came at like a crossroads where, you know, like, alright, cool, I'm not a little man anymore, and you are, so like, know your place in it. And yeah, me and my brother kind of butted heads for a while. And
this is around the time he got big.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I don't know. I guess, like I said, you're still kind of turning that corner. As he's 20 now. He's 20 now. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So yes, it's that's interesting to think about. I feel like, obviously, as you grow up as well, especially having like 3 brothers, like the relationship dynamic always changes. So I remember that exact spot that I was in with my younger brother. I remember being in that exact same spot years before my immediate older brother. I'm being in the exact same spot, but yeah, I feel like and then just as you grow up, that dynamic, it just changes. It just changes as you grow up and you mature, and it's not. And one thing I always used to notice is how we refer to each other. That's one thing I used to notice. So like, I know that the dynamic of respect has changed when we meet other people, and my older brother says, "This is my brother," and not, "This is my little brother." That's one thing I noticed. I noticed when that changed, because when it's that's my little brother, it's a different thing. That's a little man in it. But when that's my brother, then you know that there's at least kind of a little bit of respect there in it. So. Yeah. Okay. That was an interesting answer there. You kind of flipped that on me. Yeah. That was an interesting answer.
I feel like let me do. Wait.
That was for you.
Yeah,
I've spoken too much.
Give me another one.
So
Give me another one. Let me get what's the word? Vulnerable. Let me get vulnerable.
Okay. What are you not being honest with yourself about?
Good.
What's that? One more time. What am I not being honest with myself about?
Yeah.
Sorry, craft to law. That's been episode. What am I not being honest? Let me try and be honest. I want to try and be honest, innit? So I'm gonna think. I might cut down the think time. I'm gonna talk my way through this, innit? I feel like sometimes, I think it's a man thing as well, yeah. This is gonna get very like many, but I feel like sometimes, what you actually want to do, as a man or as a provider, as a husband, whatever, you gotta, what's the word? Sometimes you gotta essentially not lie, but put out a front that every single thing you're doing is in some way, shape or form because you want to do it. Whereas a lot of the time, if you could have things completely up to you, the way you live your life here would be very different. For example, most of us would say we want to work in a job, for example, that, you know, pays us bare money because, you know, we're very driven and we want to have a successful life and we want to, you know, be able to provide this and this for our kids, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes, I think, is that actually a script? And maybe I don't actually have a clue, really and truly, what exactly I want to do specifically with my life. And what I mean by that, so say like you took away money, you took away not family, but you took away the possibility of like being not compared, but it's, let's say you take away other people, you take away anything that could be used to compare you to another person, so anything like that, and everybody, let's say we lived in a communist society and everyone could just do what they want, what would you then do, if you get what I mean? And if I ask myself that question, I think, do I know the answer? Like, do I actually know what I'd do if I could do anything?
I don't think anyone would know the answer.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think.
But then, so when we tell ourselves we want to do this, and this, and this, or we're happy to do this, and this, and this, I think to myself, is it actually true? Yeah. Is it just a meal? And
that's interesting.
Do you know what I mean? Is it actually true? Like, is there anything I'm doing here that I actually genuinely
want to do? That's interesting. Cause that is quite interesting. Because I feel like, as a man, like you said, especially as a provider, it's almost like you're living your life in service to other people. So when I think of, because I actually recently did an exercise with someone, I don't know how to say this, so I get myself in trouble.
Big man thing. I have to be careful still.
So, like, I guess to paraphrase the exercise was, someone asked me, why do I want this job? And I know the person quite personally, innit? So I was just like literally quite honest with them rather than trying to impress an employer. I was honest with them, and when I think back now, all of the motivations I kind of wrote down as to why I wanted this job were kind of in service to other people. You know what I mean? Like, I want this because I want to be able to provide for this and this, do you know what I mean? And yeah, a lot of that wasn't actually for me in a sense. That's interesting to think about.
When are you at your happiest? Like, day to day. What thing do you do that makes you most happy? Or you're most content?
I'm just chilling at home, you know.
Just chilling. What about you? Football.
Yeah.
Same. I say for me, it's two things. It's football. When I'm just like learning. Yeah. So especially like learning like particularly either like Islamic kind of history. So like Islamic history. Learning Quran, like just the idea of like memorizing it and it going to my head, that like, and doing it and then doing it again, that just brings me joy, and like fiqh related Islamic studies, so just learning and history, just history in general, that's my thing, and play kicking ball. Those things. Obviously, there's other things, but yeah, that's when you're just like. You know, in your mind,
just like peace,
it's like peace and bliss.
I feel like that's what we would do, though, isn't it? Yeah. If you could do whatever you wanted to do,
I always think, what would I do in general?
Probably seek knowledge.
What's my idea in general?
Like, you probably seek knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah.
But and then exercise, seek knowledge and exercise. If you could do whatever you wanted to do.
So like, I feel like men.
Who doesn't want to do that?
I feel like not, and it's women as well. Like, but we do it in different ways. We must have to change. It's like you seek contentment almost, not happiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
which is kind of mad. But then I guess that's why, bringing it back, the point of Islam obviously is that, you know, if you seek your ultimate fulfillment or whatever in this life, or your ultimate justice, ultimate serenity in this world, you're going to be disappointed. That there's no point. It's
That's
an
the next step.
investment. And you're doing it for
That's the next step. Yeah, because I guess kind of the crux of that question that you asked is, if you could, what desire would you follow, innit? So I guess the fact that
that's the post-watershed version of it.
I guess the fact that there are all of those other things that kind of come into play are good, because they kind of keep me focused. Because like even like I said, even in the answer I wrote down to that question, all of those things I wanted aren't necessarily bad things.
Not bad, yeah.
They're not bad things, and I feel like, inshallah, if I do reach those things one day, I'm not gonna get there and be unhappy. You know, like I'm not gonna be unhappy that I can provide for my family. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Cheers for that. Oh, it left. Alhamdulillah, that's
therapy, bro.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
I think we might drop that in randomly another time.
Yeah, why not?
What do you mean?
No,
Well, now we get
the game.
Yeah, man. This is
Yeah.
bro. If it's with family, whatever, innit? If you got man them about, get these questions out, man.
I think on the show
you get to speak about things you don't usually speak about.
At the show, I actually wanted to copy it, and then
Here you go. It came all the way to you, Aki,
it's
bro.
like I should have done it at the.
Yeah, I
Should have done it at the beginning.
Yeah.
No, but what's the obviously this is what.
Should I sign it as well? Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
the freshly grounded game. I've obviously seen it been played. This is the first time I've done it myself, but I'll recommend it still. Obviously, as you just saw, it's got the man them doing up kumbaya, and I'm gonna go and hug the man them after the
Bro, I'm interested to know. Yeah, obviously you've done this. You played this game with your wife.
Yeah.
How's that? Because that's what I want to do. Obviously, I'm not married. But I'd be interested to see like what type of exchanges. I'd be interested to see like what type of exchanges would be. I feel like this would be good.
No, it's good.
Especially like as an icebreaker as well.
Yeah, no, it is good. It's sick. I think when you're talking to like this, obviously you live with that person, you talk to them over it.
Yeah.
Things can sometimes get a bit like mundane, innit? So having that on the side, especially when you're dedicating time to one another, it's really good. Just getting you to like open up and
Have you found yourself speaking about things you never thought you'd ever speak about?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, it was proper sick. I remember one time actually we went for a walk in the park, like a Sunday morning, and we were just playing the game in the park, and yeah, we were just sitting there for like hours just talking.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like different. Yeah, sick, man.
Do you know? I'll say that, man, because to the married people, if there's anyone going through like what you said, or things getting a bit mundane in a marriage, in a marriage, say the first thing I'll say is go for a walk. Like you said, go for a walk. It's I think it's one of the most powerful tools that like for bonding within a relationship. You know?
Man, not many people do that.
You know,
leaving your phone at home and go for a walk.
Yes, leave your phone at home.
Not that I haven't done the leaving your phone at home yet, but that's the next step.
That's a rule.
Yeah,
that's a
go
rule.
and leave your phone and go. Yeah.
Remember we were talking to this about one of the man them, and he didn't understand it. He was like, why do women like going? Do you not remember? He was like, why do women like going on walks?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was.
I can think of who that might have been.
Yeah. He was just confused. He was just baffed. He was like, why do women like going on walks? And then obviously we just had to kind of explain to him, because it's not something that would have come to my mind. It's always because it's always women that suggest it as well. It's always women that suggest it.
Is it?
So it's something that wouldn't have come to my mind. But then when you actually do it, like, yeah, it's sick, man. It's sick.
Because marriage, man, you have to work at it, man. You have to make sure that you are patterned, because this London is
it's tough, man.
Especially like I haven't got kids, but when I do, I know that it's gonna add another layer, and then you gotta make that time for each other, man.
And I think what you said, that's another thing that's slept on a little bit, so that you have to work on it.
Yeah.
It's not something that you just kind of like leave on the back burner, like, and not in the sense that. And I said it on the podcast before. It's like it's not in the sense that you come home every day and you have to do marriage from 5 till you go to bed. It's not like that. But there will be times within your marriage that you have to do marriage for a little bit. Like, you have to dedicate time to patterning things. Yeah.
So why aren't you married, bro? that's what I know. Like bear man in the comments was that. So I'll ask for you. Innit? I'll ask for you.
I don't know, man. It's going at my own pace. I think I was on marriage like when I was like 18, 19. And I got to like 20, 21, it was kind of wasn't really on my mind like that. But personally, bro, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
But I've always said I would want to be at a certain point in my life, before getting married, and I'm at that point now. So we'll see, innit? I was always like, oh, when I finish uni, obviously become a bit more stable. Stability is obviously important, innit?
Yeah.
Especially when, you know, when you're going to propose and you have nothing, like, it's not very productive. Yeah, you gotta be patterned. You gotta be patterned, or I'm just gonna be stalling the whole time. But yeah, that's why I probably have delayed it.
So how can one approach you if one wanted to?
I don't know, man. We'll be doing some interviews soon.
Yeah. Sure, put application.
But you know what it is, like, another thing is, like, there's still a lot I want to do as well, innit? Like I said, travelling is one of the things. That's true, bro.
Do you know, it's fun.
It's
Traveling
like,
together as well. Traveling together is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Don't like get all your traveling done and
but we saying it's double the expenses though, isn't it? No, I'm just joking. But you see me here, you know when man travel, I like to travel rough. I like to, like, obviously, if I'm gonna do backpacking, I'll go stay in a hostel. I'll do it proper. Like doing hikes. Like I know a lot of, like, girls when they travel, they want the luxury side of things. Not all of them, but they want, like, the Instagrammable type of places. You understand?
Find someone
nice restaurants, bro. Man will go eat at like a van, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think you're like me. I like that rugged. I like immersion.
I like when I go to a place to experience the culture as if I'm from there. Immersion, you understand? Rather than go to, like, the touristic type of stuff. I like to do a bit of both.
I'm a bit of both.
I feel like you're on a bougie thing.
I am a bit on a bougie thing.
Yeah, I think you're on a bougie thing.
I'm a bit on a bougie thing, but I think I'm just on a bit of a bougie thing in terms of where I lay my head at night. That's it. I feel like
that's fair.
I feel like that has to be patterned. But
that's fair.
Everything else in terms of, like, activities, like, I don't like touristy things either.
Yeah.
I don't like touristy things. So, like,
that's not the culture.
Yeah, you won't.
Yeah, bro, it's not the culture.
You won't catch me on holiday, like, taking pictures of everything. I'm more about immersion.
Bro. 100% same. 100% same, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So applications through to the judge email, jollof@gmail.com.
Yeah.
I'll filter that and then I'll filter that. Send your credentials and send your credentials.
What's you lot of viewers? I don't know if you've ever seen, like, the analytics and seeing, like, where your views are from and, like, what's predominantly what age and.
So it's, for us, it's starting to change.
Is it?
Yeah, because initially it was very much sisters, like 18 to 25.
Serious? I didn't expect that.
I feel like we're getting more mandem now. You're right.
I thought it was more mandem.
No, it was.
It's swinging that way.
Then we did the Sisters Get Married before it's 2 episode, and then we got blacklisted. Now they don't really check for us anymore. Now then the mandem came over, so now it's mandem of that age group.
Yeah, I feel like we are getting more mandem now. Yeah,
which is who we aimed it for.
Yeah.
To be honest, I do like the idea of sisters, younger sisters, taking in what we're saying, especially what we're saying. Some of what we were saying back then in the older days when we were a bit more rugged compared to how we are now, because I think where our society sometimes falls over, and this is like something like for example, Ustaz Abdullah says this all the time. It's like sisters don't understand men, and men don't understand women, and that's a good thing in a lot of senses. And there's a reason it should be that. The men should be with the young boys should be with the young boys, the young girls should be with the young girls, despite what people say nowadays. But having that understanding of each other, that empathy, that sympathy, can go a long way in terms of, like, preservation of relationships.
100%, man.
Because the reason why you have so much arguing and mad conversations on social media, or just people just saying dumb stuff about women and women saying dumb stuff about men that's just toxic and not helpful, is because of a lack of understanding. And people seeing each other as like animals, or like a next species.
That's so mad. Yeah, I remember actually, like, speaking to Abdurrahman about that and about the masjid, because he's saying that that's what it's like when you go to other, like, masajid, or even when you go to, like, uni. You know, it happens a lot in uni, like, where it's like, you know, in my uni, the prayer room was like, alright, cool, like, the brothers this way and the sisters this way, but there was like a pathway. You take your shoes off, innit? And then it's like naturally like you're like, oh, these sisters, you can't look like you're looking down, putting your shoes on and that. But if you was to see her like in the cafe, student cafe or in the library, like you wouldn't be moving like that. Do you understand? Yeah. But because you're on the prayer room, you feel like like you'd be basically treating her like a animal. You understand? Like right, like I can't look at you because it's fitna. Yeah. It's not right, is it? And I was speaking to Abdul Rahman about it, saying like how obviously like because you have the sisters and the brothers, they worked. I don't know how it was, but they were working together in like the committee back then, innit? Yeah. And I was just like, right, I've never really seen that before, and he obviously explained it in that way, innit?
Not like there's times where like free mixing, obviously something that's an Islamic principle, is something that's meant to be minimized, etc. But the idea of male and female interaction being just being zero at all. Yeah, it's not a thing. Even in the time of the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that's not how it was. Like it's not everywhere you walk. It's do you know what I mean?
But it is a lot of these quotes and all of these things that we see growing up. Like it makes you feel like you have to move like that, innit? Like, bro, I remember growing up, there was jumpers that says lower your gaze, and I don't know if you ever come across them type of things. Yeah. Like you think like you're gonna have to walk. Like,
of course, it's important.
The sheets and not stuff like that.
Looking, obviously, that's fact, bro. But like, for example, I remember Mr. Khalid, who we had last week, who was talking about, like, for example, times of the Sahaba, for example, where there could be a Sahaba or a Muslim person, man, or Sahaba, walking his donkey or riding on his horse, for example, and he comes across a sister who's walking and they're going to the same direction, and it would be the praiseworthy kind of action for him would be he'd get off his horse, he'd tell her to ride the horse, and he'd walk in front of the horse, for example. So that means he's walking with her on the journey. Obviously, there's a respect and there's a courtesy towards that. But then the way that people talk nowadays, for example, is that I walk past the sister, she's just her shopping bags have fallen from a shop, I don't know, her Sainsbury's bag is ripped. All her stuff dropped on the floor. But that's not a good that's not a good man as a Muslim, fam. Obviously, if there's mad fitna for you for whatever reason, okay, fine, it might be better for you to walk off. But generally, like you can interface in something with a woman, and it shouldn't send you off the rails. Generally, if that's your case, if that's your truth, bro, then fine.
Bro, imagine, like someone refused to look at you. While speaking to you and interacting with you, like for a need, let's say you work together and they just refuse to look at you, you think that's a bit weird, isn't it?
There just needs to be a common sense approach, innit? There's times for things and there's times for not things.
Knowledge and wisdom,
and application of knowledge. It's application of knowledge, innit? Because if you can't apply knowledge you have, then that's not knowledge, innit? That's memorized information. I think that's somebody said that. I don't know who said that, but it sounds good, innit?
Says that Malik said it.
No, someone knowledgeable, someone much more qualified to say that said that.
So see uni. Where did you go at uni?
I went Kent.
Okay, that must be nice in the summer, innit? My friends went there.
But I went to a smaller campus.
Okay,
very different.
Did you play football at all? Because I know a couple of the guys in the team.
I was on a futsal team for a bit.
Futsal?
Okay. Yeah, futsal team.
You were playing
indoor,
futsal?
Yeah. You got tech then, yeah?
The futsal's and all the skills now.
Yeah, indoor.
Yeah, no, finished. Sometimes you just have to bag. Sometimes you need a bagsman everywhere you go.
You play striker, yeah?
Striker and then go. But
is it?
Yeah.
Both ends of the
pitch. You play anything, huh?
Both ends of the pitch.
Literally, bro. What?
Make of that what you will, innit?
He's just trying to be my daddy.
What, you play for any team?
So I'm not a bag.
I didn't say bagsman. I just said make of it what you will.
I played for a team beginning of last season for like 2 months, and I just looked at my shoulder. In goal actually for that game. And,
so what are your goalkeeper?
There's a Maghreb looking for players.
Yeah, no, we've got pre-season right now. If you want to join.
Well, yeah, quickly chat. I know we need to wrap up, but quickly, what's the team saying?
So we was obviously started off as like a Morocco team. I was doing that at uni while doing uni as well, innit? So had that going on. Played different countries like Egypt, Iraq, Somalia, and it just became it was too easy for us. Like we had very good players, innit?
Yeah.
We all grew up playing with each other. So obviously we decided to join the Sunday League, make it a bit more competitive. Won the league, unbeaten.
Jeez.
Won a couple cups as well.
Which league? Where'd you play? Which league?
The Harrow League.
Okay,
so we were there for 2 years. This season obviously won the cup and the league. and then we felt like, you know, we wanted something more competitive. So right now, this season coming, we've moved to Saturday, step 6.
Right. Okay.
I don't know if you understand the tier
Step
system.
6 is it? What's the lowest step?
I don't know, like
Is
12,
is it 9?
9, yeah, 9 maybe.
Step 6.
Yeah, so we've taken over.
Team.
It's a semi-pro level, isn't it?
It's a
Semi-pro.
team.
So we've taken over a club called London Tigers that we used to play with when we were younger.
I've heard that team. Where is it?
You might Spikes Bridge. You might see it maybe on the A40.
Yeah, I've heard of that team, man.
You're taking over that club.
Yeah, we're taking over. They seen what we've done. They struggled, I think, last season, maybe battling relegation. They seen what we could do. Obviously, we've basically collaborated. We've taken over the team, innit? So we got pre-season right now. So fitness, bringing in new players, trying to like. I still play. Yeah. I'm gonna join. Now Sunday's free. I might join like a local team as well. If you're down, you can come through.
Where'd you play?
Position, centre back, right back. I was a right back originally, but then I put on weight, so shifted to the CB. You know what I'm saying?
It's Marshall.
But yeah, like if you play 7-a-side, I'll play centre mid. But yeah, centre back.
I can't remember you know, because I've been meaning to jump back on football for a while. I ain't played football in far too long.
I'm looking for, especially a team that has
Are you serious? Are you proper serious? Because there's teams that can.
The thing is, I was sitting down, and the thing about the Sunday League thing is, even the team I was at, I'm like,
what was it called?
RSA, Royal Sun Alliance. It's nice, decent, isn't it?
Okay.
It's more like the atmosphere. Like I want a team of brothers. Like if I want a team of more brothers or more.
That's what we have, man.
More feel of that Islamic feel because that's the only thing that was a bit left on certain things, and it's like. Just what you're hearing, you'll be in the change room. They're just banging out all types of It's just like
I think that was one of the main things that kind of stopped me playing football from a young age. That changing room nonsense, bro.
Yeah, that will never change though. Bro, like
I can't do
football at elite levels is like that.
I can't do it, and it's like they do it on purpose.
Oh wait, which bit are you talking about? The shifty activity?
Yeah, the
I wasn't even talking about that.
I'm talking about just
this team wasn't like because it was like they were all like Nigerian or Ghanaian, so it wasn't that you didn't get my shifty stuff.
I can't do it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because I don't know. I don't know who gets changed and puts their top on first. Who does that and walks around the
gym stuff?
Who does that?
That's that gym stuff.
when you're getting dressed in the morning, do you put your top on first?
Yeah, I hear that.
I can't do it, bro. I can't do it.
Well, that's the other thing, and Sunday, the thing with weekends, isn't it? It's like.
No, I hear you, man. Especially when you're married, bro. Like it's difficult because usually the weekend is usually your time off to spend with the missus, and a lot of man, bro. Like they struggled this season, innit? 'Cause some of them got kids. Yeah, bro. But man were dropping out the night before. Like, I can't make it. Mrs. Onto, man.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. When I came home, when I had the dislocation, and I told her, I'm not like, I'm done for this because this is December. I said, I'm not gonna. I know she was like. I lost the answer. I'm like, who did you send? Who did you send to do that to me? Yeah,
injuries happen a lot, man. I had a lot of injuries. I had dislocated mine as well, and it's annoying because it takes a while to recover.
And confidence as well. Like, I think that's the main thing.
Oh, you're the goalkeeper as well, so you couldn't do it at night. That's all.
Yeah, confidence will make it. Now I'm back now. But I remember the first time I played in after.
Bro, if you're looking to train, honestly, bro, you're more than welcome.
I have to shout you then.
Yeah, I'm have to shout you.
Yeah, man. Because right now it's not competitive. It's a lot of training, a lot of running, a lot of like testing, so like sprints, timing, a lot of suicide runs, maybe playing like volleyball, doing a little friendly at the end. Like, that's what it is right now, isn't it? It's nothing serious at the moment. We're just looking at bringing a new player, so we're inviting them down. Yeah, it should be a big season. It should be a good season, inshallah.
Step 6, that's proper.
Yeah.
That's
So
proper. What's the goal for that?
So our goal is to obviously we ain't really seen the league, but from what we've been hearing, we're trying to win the league. It's winnable. If not, top 5, go playoffs, and then hopefully step 5. Isn't it? That's our goal. The chairman's goal. He's just happy with us to just survive, mid-table. So there's no pressure.
When does FA Cup qualification start? Is that step?
What, the Vars?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's FA Vars trophies.
Yeah, the FA Cup. The other one.
Is that
Step 5 they get picked, but step 6 only it's like a raffle or something. Only a few get selected. Whereas the Vars, I think, that's probably maybe I don't know August. I don't know. I'm not too sure with the the fixtures. But alhamdulillah, now it's a big weight off my shoulder because now there's a big management team.
Oh, so you're not on the ground having to manage everything.
Yeah, no, obviously there's people coming in now that obviously they're more suitable. So yeah, there's a lot more people involved now. So now hopefully I'll have my Sundays and hopefully some Saturdays back. Now the Saturday, bro, it's peak though. When like it's 2 hours when you play like Saturday.
Aways, fam. Aways.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours journey. You go play. You're playing Leicester sometimes. You're playing like Brighton. Yeah. It's mad.
It's like this region, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like even that
exactly.
one, that day when I.
And they put us on. Yeah. That's basically we're in the middle of two regions. One is I don't know, County, Middlesex County.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the other one, Spartan South, something like that. And they put us in the further one.
So what's that like? Thames Valley.
Further.
Is that like Milton Keynes in them kind of areas?
I don't know, maybe, bro.
Why?
Maybe. There's one team called Bedford FC.
Yeah, that's Milton Keynes, Bedford, Luton.
Do you know Bedford?
I know the area. Yeah.
So one crypto billionaire invested in that team at that level. So right here, like one crypto billionaire invested in Bedford FC. So right now, they're ones to watch. Like their 20-year plan is to be in the Premier League.
What?
Yeah, man.
So they got
They got when a club gets peas, you can pay players, innit?
Yeah,
like good players.
Yeah, and people gonna be committed. That's now ball is sick, man. I love ball, man. It's the way it brings man together as well, man.
Bro, 100%. See, everywhere I've gone, Aki, bro. Like man, sometimes don't know the language. Bring a football.
Yeah.
It's a universal language.
Yeah.
You understand? When I went to Jordan, like, obviously my Arabic's alright, but it's not perfect. I was trying to be like, we had the orphan fun day. Like all the kids are just kind of like, obviously there's face paint, there's everything, bro. Like people dressed as like Mario and Luigi's, mad stuff in it, activities, games, skipping rope, but they just didn't look like they just didn't look bothered, didn't it? I brought out a football, said come to our side to the AstroTurf. Everyone's on it, like bro, even like adults acting like kids. When I was in Gambia, again, they love football though, bro. They love, and they're talented there, man. Yeah, they're proper talented, and they've actually been visited by a few footballers as well. Everywhere I've gone, like football, you can just play and just, even though you don't know the language, bro, just, you get on.
There's a lack of football facilities.
You think so?
You think?
Football's expensive in this country, you know. Like I remember when I went to Belgium, every time you go past like a street corner or whatever, there's a pitch.
Yeah.
And that's a dead.
Football is expensive
area.
Here. In other countries, it's for free.
That's why France they got so many borders because football is easy to play. Like your average park, the facilities will be at least alright. Here
it's for free. Yeah.
Anywhere that's alright is £100 an hour.
Yeah.
That's big P, you know. £100 an hour.
Maybe Southgate should be listening. Southgate should be listening then. Alright.
I will leave it there, man.
Yeah.
Barakallah feet, man. Barakallah feet for coming. Another guest that alhamdulillah made it very easy to come. Those are my favourite guests, the ones that are just like whenever.
Yeah.
Whenever. That's so may Allah reward you for that.
Mm-hmm.
May Allah accept all of the different kind of initiatives that you're doing. May Allah put barakah in them, from the football to the charity, and I'll keep you on a straight path. And I'll provide you with a righteous spouse. Quickly.
Is there anything that people need to know about?
Yeah, anything you want to plug or whatever?
No, that's all. Just plug you guys, man.
Alhamdulillah.
I'm obviously happy to see you guys are doing this, and got a lot of time for you. Like whenever you want, do something. Even like get involved in some charity stuff. You know, I was gonna say that we'll speak off camera as well. Like there's a deployment to Nigeria soon as well. Yeah, some big names coming as well.
Family.
Supposedly.
We could blow that up, you know. We could get a few people.
We'll talk.
We've been talking. Yeah.
Sure, we'll talk. But yeah, man. Big up you guys.
Alright, cool. We'll leave it there. Socials, Ips. Let them know.
You do the socials, Jared.
I don't even know them, bro.
You don't know the socials?
No, man.
Jollof after Jummah everywhere, man.
Jollof after Jummah. See it. The man said it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thanks.
Cool.
ولما قسى قلبي وضاقت مذاهبي جعلت رجائي دون عفوك سلما تعاظمني ذنبي فلما قرنته بعفوك ربي كان عفوك أعظما فما زلت ذا عفو عن الذنوب لم تزل تجود وتعفو منة وتكرما